Let me start with something that happened to me just 3 days ago. I was standing on a dealership lot filming another video when a guy walked up to me looking absolutely crushed. See, he told me he bought a $72,000 luxury SUV in 2023, thinking it was an investment in family safety, comfort, and long term value. But when he tried to trade it in last week, the dealer looked him in the eye and he said the words that no car owner ever wants to hear. Hey, my friend, it's not even worth half of what you paid for it. Now, this is not a high mileage car, it's not an accident car. It's just a model that collapsed so badly in value that even dealers don't want them. And here's the scary part. His situation, well, it isn't rare. It's actually becoming the new normal. Across the entire US market, more than 7 million Americans are already 90 days behind on their car loans. And that is the highest level since the Great Recession. And certain models are falling so fast in value that by 2026, well, they'll be worth barely more than scrap. We're talking about cars that sold for 100,000 now going for 35,000. Cars that were guaranteed winners are now being refused as trade-ins, and some models from 2023 and 2024 have lost so much value that dealers are literally refusing to put them on their lots. And that leads us directly in today's video. The 15 car models that went from future stars to financial catastrophes and will be worthless by 2026 if trends continue. So let me say, if you own one of these, I'm truly sorry. But if you're thinking of buying one, please watch this video first. So just before we do take a deep dive, as always, it's imperative you hit that like button and subscribe so that you get notified the minute that we produce another game-changing video that affects your choice of car or SUV. And I promise you will appreciate it. So buckle up and let's plunge straight in. So just before we get into the actual countdown, you need to understand why so many cars are collapsing in value. The used car market is being hit from three directions at once, and typically most buyers have no idea whatsoever what's actually happening. Okay, so let me help you out here. Number one, EV prices have created due to oversupply and aggressive incentives. Number two, luxury brands overproduced high-tech models that nobody wants once the warranty runs out. And number three, well, manufacturers rushed untested technology into the marketplace. We're talking software-heavy cars with first-generation engineering, buggy infotainment, and batteries that degrade far faster than expected. So whatever you do, don't click away, because once you understand the forces behind this collapse, well, I promise the list will make a lot more sense. So, excuse me. Join me as we count down the 15 models that are destroyed by depreciation. Starting at number 15, the 2024 Tesla Cybertruck. Now, the Cybertruck was supposed to break the rules. Elon claimed it would appreciate in value, but instead, it's become one of the fastest depreciating vehicles in America. Early buyers paid over $100,000 for Foundation Series models, but within 18 months, real-world trade-in offers began landing between $60,000 and $65,000. That's a near 40% loss. Now, some trucks with moderate mileage were offered closer to $55,000. The moment that Tesla ramped up production and the early adopter hype evaporated, well, resale values collapsed. A 3-month pileup of unsold inventory only made things worse. So for Tesla, the bubble didn't just pop, it detonated. Down to number 14. Here we're talking the 2024 Infiniti QX80. Now, the QX80 looks new on the outside, but underneath, it's built on a platform from 2011, and buyers know it. The outdated chassis, the heavy V8, and the thirsty fuel economy make it feel like a total relic from a different era. As Infiniti loses market share and dealers quietly exit the brand, Used values have been in free fall. A $75,000 QX80 can lose close to $40,000 by the end of year 2. Now, with a full redesign looming for 2026, that makes the current generation instantly undesirable. So the market has decided this SUV is finished. Down to number 13. Here we have the 2024 Mercedes-Benz EQB. Now, Mercedes massively overproduced its EQ lineup, and the EQB was one of the biggest victims. It's essentially a gas-powered GLB converted into an EV, producing mediocre range, sluggish charging, and a driving experience that feels like a compromise. Dealers were stacking $10,000 plus incentives on brand new EQBs, meaning that used ones had to sell even cheaper. Now, once leases started ending, well, the market was hit with thousands of low mileage returns, depreciation about 50% in under 2 years, and that is scary. Down to number 12, the 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee L and the 4XE. Now, Consumer Reports slammed the Grand Cherokee's reliability, but the plug-in hybrid, the 4XE disaster, made things even worse. Real owners report months, not days, of cumulative downtime. One Michigan couple's story went viral when their SUV shut off on the freeway, and then they spent 8 months across multiple dealerships during a 39-month lease. Recalls followed, but the damage was done. A 55,000 Grand Cherokee L can lose more than half its value by the end of year 2, and that's an astonishing collapse for a once respected nameplate. Down to number 11, the 2024 Alfa Romeo Stelvio. Now, yes, it's beautiful on the outside, but it's brutal on your wallet. See, the Stelvio is famous for losing value faster than nearly any of its German rivals. Reliability ratings remain near the bottom of the industry, and incentives on new models are massive, which, of course, instantly crushes used values. The buyer pool for Alfa Romeo is tiny, meaning sellers often must accept far below market estimates just to move this vehicle. A 52% value wipeout in under 2 years is now typical for the Stelvio. Ouch! Down to number 10. Here we have the 2024 Polestar 2. Now, forgive me, the Polestar 2 should have been a serious Tesla competitor, but Hertz's decision to dump tens of thousands of Polestar and Tesla rentals onto the used market totally obliterated resale values. And brand confusion hasn't helped here. Many buyers still don't know if the Polestar is a Volvo sub-brand, a Chinese EV startup, or maybe even something else. Now, if you combine that with limited service centers and battery degradation concerns, well, you get a 53% crash in resale value within 36 months. So stay away from this. Number 9, the 2024 Audi e-tron SUV. Now, Audi's first major EV attempt aged rapidly, with real-world winter ranges closer to 180 miles, high charging costs, and a heavy chassis. Well, the original e-tron was doomed the moment the Q8 e-tron arrived with better specs. So owners who spent 80,000 plus on the first generation, well, they were being offered around 40,000 within just a year. Now, Audi learned from its mistakes, but unfortunately, early adopters paid for them, and I'm sorry for that. Down to number 8, the 2024 Nissan Ariya. Now, the Ariya never got a fair chance. It was built in Japan, it didn't qualify for federal tax credit, instantly making it an overpriced EV. Then Nissan axed the model for the US market entirely. Now, when a manufacturer abandons a nameplate that fast, resale values collapse. Listings show Arias losing more than 50% of their value in a single year. Now, it's not a bad EV. Sadly, it's just an orphaned one. Down to number 7, the 2023 Lucid Air. Now, this is one of the greatest EVs ever made on paper, and sadly, one of the worst investments in real life. Lucid is burning through billions and fighting for survival. Buyers fear the company won't be around long enough to service vehicles, provide parts, or honour warranties. When confidence collapses, unfortunately, so do prices. Some 150,000 Lucid Airs now sell for under 60,000. Now, one owner calculated as Lucid was losing about $200 a day. And again, guys, I'm sorry if you've got one. Number 6, the Mercedes-Benz EQE of 2024. Now, Mercedes rushed the EQE to market and buyers noticed. The interior feels much cheaper than expected for a vehicle that costs over $80,000. Rear seat space is cramped, software is glitchy, range is mediocre, charging speeds lag competition. So without federal tax credits, dealers slapped huge incentives on leases, and thousands of those lease returns are now overwhelming the used market. As a case, values have dropped roughly 56% in less than 2 years. Again, ouch. Number 5, the 2024 Volkswagen ID4. Now, VW hoped the ID4 would be its global EV breakthrough, but instead, well, the buggy infotainment system, the slow processing speeds, and the unreliable capacitive controls ruined the experience for many owners. VW then mass-produced ID4s in Tennessee and flooded the market. So, forgive me, when Tesla slashed Model Y prices, well, used ID4 demand collapsed instantly. 1-year depreciation rates of 33 to 40% are now typical, and that's another EV that deserved much better, but sadly it never recovered from its launch programs. Now down to number 4, and at number 4 we have the 2024 Nissan Leaf. Now, the Leaf was the original mass market EV, but today, sadly, it's a cautionary tale. Nissan's passive air-cooled batteries degrade quickly, especially in hot climates. Now, buyers know this and resale values reflect it. Nissan is actually discontinuing the Leaf entirely, replacing it with a crossover EV. So therefore, support will decrease, parts availability will fade, and depreciation already exceeds 58%. Down to the top 3. At number 3, the 2024 Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV. Now here, Mercedes totally misread the market. They built far more high-end EQS SUVs than demand could actually support. So again, when Tesla slashed prices, dealers panicked and they started discounting EQS inventory aggressively. A 110,000 electric flagship dropped to 60,000 in just under 2 years, and it's something the industry has never seen at this scale. Buyers expected S-Class luxury, but instead, well, they got cramped third-row seating, overwhelming tech, and cheaper than expected materials. So depreciation here isn't a curve, it's a cliff. Here we go to the top 2, and at number 2, which should be of little surprise, the 2024 Maserati Levante. Now, the Levante is a masterpiece of design and a disaster of ownership. Reliability ratings are among the worst in the luxury segment. Part costs are astronomically high, and 2024 was the final model year, meaning that Maserati effectively abandoned the platform. Now, resale values fall as much as 70% within 5 years, with most of the damage happening in year 1 and 2. So imagine losing 90,000 on a single vehicle. Well, hey, that's the Levante experience. So finally, we reached number one, and we're talking about the 2023 to 2024 Toyota Mirai. Now, this isn't just the worst depreciating Toyota ever, it's the worst depreciating vehicle in North America, period. A $64,000 Mirai can drop to $7,000 to $10,000 within 24 months. Some dealers refuse them as trade-ins entirely. Hydrogen stations in California, the only real market for this car, well, they're shutting down. Hydrogen prices have skyrocketed, and many owners literally cannot refuel their vehicles. Now, Toyota offered enormous incentives to new buyers, including $15,000 in free hydrogen, which of course created the used market instantly because second-hand buyers get none of those perks. Now, the Mirai isn't just depreciating, sadly, it's evaporating. Now, if all this is blowing your mind or confirming your worst fears, if you own one of these, take 1 second right now and hit that like button. It tells YouTube this is content worth pushing to millions more people who need this information before they make a $50,000 mistake. And if you appreciate consumer first videos like this, subscribing genuinely helps the channel keep growing. So the big question is, what should you expect next? Well, excuse me, the collapse isn't slowing down. Automakers are quietly preparing to kill dozens of EV, hybrid, and gas models over the next 24 months. Lease fleets will return hundreds of thousands of vehicles in 2025 and 2026, flooding the market even more. And of course, once interest rates drop, well, millions of buyers will try to trade in depreciating vehicles, only to discover they're tens of thousands of dollars underwater. Now, what's coming next could very well be the biggest reset in used car pricing in modern history. And yes, more models will join this worthless by 2026 list. So now that you've seen the 15 models collapsing faster than the market can even react, here's the question. What happens when automakers refuse to buy back their own mistakes and millions of underwater loans hit the market at the exact same time? Well, I'll be revealing that in a forthcoming video, so whatever you do, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. And in the meantime, take care, my fellow car enthusiasts, and I'll see you guys on the next one.